Yes, as you can see, it is absolutely pouring down here in Spielberg. We are back at the Red Bull Ring after a year's hiatus. And yeah, it is going to be very, very exciting. We had Formula 2 here yesterday, and now it is time for the big boy main event, Formula 1, to return to the circuit located in Spielberg. Wojtek Kulasek is the first man out on track for, I believe this is our first time that we will have wet conditions in Formula 1 this season, which is going to be very, very nice, and it's going to be a big challenge for the drivers, especially those who haven't faced these conditions just yet, as Wojtek Kulasek will make his way around the circuit. We got 12 minutes of the first stage of qualifying just ahead of us, and a 32 lap race. One of the longest lap counters, if not the longest lap counter on the Formula 1 calendar, as this is one of the shortest layouts of this is one of the shortest layouts on the F1 calendar. But as we will witness Kulasek making his way around the circuit for his flying lap, let's go through the tracks. The Red Bull Ring is a racetrack, obviously located in Spielberg, in the Styria region of Austria. The circuit was first opened in 1969 as the Österreichring, and it was reopened because it was closed after 2003, I believe it was. Yeah, it was closed after 2004, and it was reopened in 2011 under the new ownership. But the circuit was first opened in 1969, known as the Österreichring, and it was built to replace the Zeltweg circuit, which was quite a bad circuit, and it is really bad if you look at the layout. But it was meant as a replacement for that circuit, and it hosted its first Formula 1 race in 1970 with a quite similar layout to what we have today. It's not too it is not too far apart from the layout that we run on today. And it ran Formula 1 all the way up until 1987. And it saw some other racing series here as well. The World Sports Car Championship, namely. And yeah, then you had then obviously ran here up until 1987, and then the circuit was closed due to safety concerns. And it didn't run Formula 1 didn't run here for 10 years until the circuit was rebuilt in 1995, and by none other than Hermann Tilke. And the circuit was shortened, and it was some corners were adjusted, and Formula 1 returned here in 1997 under the name A1 Ring, and also motorcycle races started to come here at the circuit. However, I think they lost the license, and in 2004 the pit buildings and grandstands were demolished, so they could not run any circuit here. In 2011 it opened again, as it was bought by Red Bull to be renamed the Red Bull Ring, and in 2014 the first ever Formula 1 race came here, and the rest is history. So yeah, obviously we had Formula 1 here in 2017. None other than Mohammed Patel, who, as we have all 20 times on the board, and at the moment Ennis Parachi currently fast in the race. But Mohammed Patel, there he is in P15, who took pole at the circuit and then also took the race victory in 2017. That was his second ever career victory, because obviously in the race before that he won in Silverstone. And then he also won at the Red Bull Ring. So he took back-to-back victories. He became the first ever Formula 1 driver to do that. So he holds that nice little stat, and also the only current race winner and pole sitter at this circuit, maybe because we've only raced here once. But yeah, we'll see if Red Bull can take yet another victory at this circuit. It will be interesting to see. I think this venue is also famously remembered for the for the time where the two Mercedes stars collided into the first corner quite spectacularly, which put Jesper Johansson and his teammates out of contention. I believe they were running in the podium places somewhere, and Ferrari could just not keep up at all with the Red Bull of Mohammed Patel. But it is all the 20 times on the board, and as I've kind of talked away now. But yeah, Enis Parachi currently fastest, and your bottom 5 are currently Milka Singh, Maximilian Novikov, Samet Özkan, Josef Erik Schuto, and Jafari Blackwood. So Schuto, obviously he's at consecutive Q2 appearances now in the Williams. It could come to an end here in Austria. Victor Albom currently running. He's running quite well. Let's see if he can get himself into Q2. And then you got Laban Sasnishka, who's currently just on the zone, just on the limit there. Same with Mohammed Patel. Kai Chereshny currently in P10. I believe he had a Q3 appearance last time out. Speaking of disconnected, there goes the stream. Never mind, we're back. Thomas Mann is currently on the lap time here. I believe that is the Renault number 21 should be Sasnishka. Either way, that is going to see the Croatian being held up here by obviously the man who replaced him at Renault. But we'll see if I mean, Haas do look a bit better at this circuit than they have at previous circuits. Victor Albom currently out of Q2. He's running a bit better in form, it looks like. And then Jafari Blackwood is currently in the elimination zone. We'll see if he can get out. Luca Farina, I have to say, there he is in P8. That's fantastically done from Luca Farina, who's currently in 8th place. His teammate is currently last. And especially Farina, if you do remember, for those history buffs of the ACOC, Luca Farina took his first ever career podium at this circuit in 2017 in Formula 2. It's, yeah, we apologize for it. Jafari Blackwood then, as he makes his way through the middle sector, is about second off Enis Parachi at the moment. So I think he's up by this time as Alfred Klaus goes into P2. As Blackwood makes his way around the final corner, or the second to last corner, and he is into the pit lane. Milka Singh is currently in last place. I believe he's on a lap time here. Kai Chereshny, who is currently in P8, is going to cross the line. He can't improve. It's about a 10th off his own time there, but he's still in P8, so that should be more than enough to get himself into Q2. Which is nice for him. I mean, he's had some pretty, he's had a pretty poor run of performance through the first few races of the season. And it's nice to see him get back up into form, because he scored his first point of the season at France. But I think the person who's going to be hoping to get into the points the most today, apart from the two Williamses, of course, but it is going to be Victor Albom in the Haas and Milka Singh in the Alfa Romeo, because those two have not scored any points yet. So they're going to be hoping for points on the board for the first time this season today. Franco Gamba is going to cross the line, and he goes up into P10. So yeah, ahead of Wojtek Kulasek, who could get himself into Q2. Obviously, he was knocked out in Q1. It was basically stone dead last in France, which probably wasn't the nicest feeling for him. Here he is. He's being held up by the Toro Rosso there. If I think that is should be Lewis McIntyre. I believe that is. Either way, has to make their way down to turn number 3. As there goes Maximilian Novikov. There goes Maximilian Novikov up into P15 in the Williams, and he momentarily gets himself out of the elimination zone. Could it be teammate Shuto is in the pit lane, so he is knocked out. So his Q2 appearances come to an end. But the Q2 appearances for Williams could maybe not, as Novikov has come up into 15th place. So the Russian is desperately gonna have to hope that no one does improve at the back. Lewis McIntyre improves. He is up into P8. So nice stuff from Lewis McIntyre. Obviously, Toro Rosso looking very, very good now in 2019. It has to be said. As Thomas Mandic, who's now in a bit of clear air, goes up into P3. But Maximilian Novikov is going to be the man to watch. He's going to want to make his first Q2 appearance in Formula 1. But he gets knocked down back into the elimination zone. Samet Özkan goes P13 now. We'll see if Novikov can manage an improvement as he will make his way across the line. What will it be for Maximilian Novikov? He can't improve, and unfortunately, the heroic saga of Williams into Q2 comes to an end as Novikov is knocked out. But that is Samet Özkan into Q2 as well, once again. Josef Erik Schuto will start P19, unfortunately for him. Franco Gambas is going to finish up his lap here. As let's see where the Italian will go. And he cannot improve. Milka Singh is currently on lap time there. Sky Dreshna dives into the pit lane. Here's Emis Paratsky, the current pole sitter. Or not the pole sitter, the man who's currently fastest. He doesn't improve, but he doesn't need to. Milka Singh is going to make his way around the final corner now. Turn number 10. Let's see if Milka Singh can get himself out of last place. He can't. As the timer ticks down to 0. And that is Q1 done and dusted. Enis Paratsky is currently fastest. And your bottom 5 are Maximilian Novikov, Mohammed Patel, Jafari Blackwood, Josef Erik Schuto, and Milka Singh. It's a shame for Mohammed Patel though. Obviously, as we said, he took pole at the circuit in 2017, so to expect him to be a bit familiar with the circuit, but the rain is what was I gonna say? The rain maybe has provided for some uncharacteristic qualifying performances today, and it sure shows with Mohammed Patel in P17. Singh knocked out once again. He's been having a bit of... He looked to be doing very well in the first few races of the season. I mean, especially round 2 at Fuji, he was running in P10 after he crashed with Victor Albom, unfortunately. But then again... but now, then again, he's not scored any points at all in the season, so it really just hasn't been his season for now. As we are now here for Q2, you can see that's a cool. That's actually a very cool feature. You can see the timer ticking down there on the what are those things called? The where the starting lights are, you can see like a timer ticking down. That's pretty cool, actually. As Dennis Groff, the 2017 world champion, is the first man out. Obviously, he finally picked up his first race win of the season in France. He's going to want to hope to replicate that here today to take yet another race victory and cement himself in the championship fight. And for those who are wondering about the championship fight, Jesper Johansson, the 2018 world champion, or the defending champion, should I say, he is currently leading the championship on 120 points. Then it is fellow compatriot Miran Evji in the Ferrari on 116 points, so he's 4 points behind. And that's Alfred Klaus in the Red Bull, 108 points, so he's 12 points behind. And then you got Dennis Groff, who is on 92 points, so he's a total 28 points behind. But the question is, if the question is, well, if Milan FG will be able to beat Jesper Johansson today. As they make their way onto turn 4 there, Dennis Groff. Into turn 5, the rain still pouring down, as you can see. As we'll go on board with the German through turn 6 he goes. Nice on the curb there as he goes to turn 7. Hits the apex and then through turn 8. Stay on the inside there. Through the final 2 corners, turn number 9, Rindt, or därför Jochen Rindt, the late Formula 1 Austrian driver. And then across the line is a 1:10.7, so it's not the best lap time, but it should be enough for Dennis Groff at the moment. And next across the line is Fernando Tost, who obviously his consistent scoring of P6s was broken, but that still doesn't make his debut races any less fantastic. As teammate Gamba is next across the line. He's only a 10th off Dennis Groff, so that is nice stuff from Franco Gamba. There's Lewis McIntyre. He slots in between the 2 McLarens. Victor Albom is next across. He goes ahead of Fernando Tost. Tost didn't have the greatest lap, it looks like. There's Cherezhnia in P6. There's P7 as Miran FG. He's up to P3. Samet Özkan. 800 of a second off the senior Red Bull driver and compatriot Alfred Klaus. As Luca Farina is next across the line. Then goes Thomas Mandic. Farina currently slowest out of the bunch. And this Parachki. Currently P6 it is for him. As Tost sets an improvement, he goes ahead of Kai Cherezhnia. Work the Kulisek up to P10. At the moment, his teammate Lamas Nishka P13. And waiting for one other car to cross the line. And who would that be? None other than Jesper Johansson, of course. As he goes fastest. But that's all the 15 times provisionally on the board then. Johansson fastest, bottom 5. Farina, Sasnishka, Cherezhnia, Tost and Kulasek. Victor Albom is currently running P10. And the 2 Toro Rossos, McIntyre and Özkan, are currently into Q3. But Fernando Tost, obviously his first foray into Formula 1 cars in the rain, he is going to have to hope that he's going to really have to hope that he does find some improvement at the moment, because it could be the first session where he gets knocked out of Q2, and that's a very weird thing to say. In the 5 races, which in the 5 qualifying sessions, discounting this one that Fernando Tost has done, he has been in Q3 every single session, which is absolutely crazy. So he has really just been. He has had an incredible debut. I think that's the strongest mid-season debut. I did say that before, but I think Fernando Tost really has delivered the strongest mid-season debut we've ever seen in the ACOC, which is absolutely fantastic. As Luca Farina is currently in last place, he's going to make his way across turn number 9 and turn number 10, assuming that he does finish this lap. He will, and he heads through turn 10. Let's see if Luca Farina can find improvement and get himself out of last place in the Alfa Romeo, as he will cross the line. And no, it's not improvement for Luca Farina. It's still got 3.5 minutes to do it. Özkan and McIntyre currently pushing out on the track. Wojtek Kulasek is going to cross the line. Can he get himself into Q3 with this lap? No, he can't. It doesn't improve. Can teammate Zasnishka do anything? Yes, he can. He goes ahead of his teammate for P11, but it's not enough for Q3 just yet. Victor Albom is currently in the pit lane. He's looking good in the wet, Albom. Kai Czerezny is currently on a lap at the moment. The Polish driver is going to want to get himself into Q3. As Czerezny is into the pit lane. Here's Milan Evji then, the man currently P2 in the championship standings in the Ferrari. He's going to want to hope to equal the Mercedes at the moment, who are looking quite comfortable at the top there, P1 and P3, but they are just separated by the 2017 world champion Dennis Graf there in P2. As Farina is going to make his way across the line, the man currently last does not improve, so it is a bit of a shame for Luca Farina, as he looks quite competitive in Q1, but we don't know if that is his pace just dropping off or if the conditions are getting a bit more tricky for some of the drivers. Either way, we're going to watch Lamas Asnishkai in the Renault, as we'll see if he can improve. No, he cannot. He's a whole second off the pace there. The man is currently fastest, Jesper Johansson, the super Swede, as he will cross the line. Doesn't improve just yet, but he doesn't need to. He doesn't need to improve. It's only Q2. Samet Özkan then, currently P8 in the Toro Rosso. Fantastic from the two Toro Rossos of Özkan and McIntyre, as they're looking to get into Q3 if things should stay as it is at the moment. But we will see. At the moment, as there's Özkan coming to the pit lane, Kulasek, Tost and Czerezny are in the pit, so Fernando Tost is, if he does not go out right now, there is a chance of Tost not making it into Q3, which I mean would be a shame considering his really good run of qualifying performances. But yeah, it can't be all. I guess it can't all be Q3 performances. Oh dear, there's Thomas Mandic, and oh, he's gone off the track there a bit, and he's actually stopped. So he's gonna try and get back on the circuit, Mandic, but he collided there with the Renault of Labmas Asnishkas. I think, yeah, I was trying to get past and he just lost it, it looked like. So I'm gonna watch this again from the stream. So, yeah, Zasnishka was trying to come into the pit lane. So he was trying to come into the pits. Mandic was alongside him, and I feel like he just kind of had a bit of an understeer moment and just went into the Serbian. And then he just completely lost control and slid off. So that's a bit of controversy in qualifying. But we're into the last few seconds of qualifying then. Farina is in. And I think that yeah, look, with Farina in, that's all of the bottom 5 into the pit lane. So this is essentially just confirmed our running order for Q3. And that means that Victor Albom, for the first time in the season, is going to be into Q3. So that's absolutely fantastic for the Danish driver. And yeah, that is going to be quite a beacon of hope for Haas and Albom. So he could be on for points in race. Either way, we're going to see the final few cars across the line, as they're going to just set improvements here. Mandic doesn't improve. Victor Albom, can he manage an improvement? No, he doesn't, but he doesn't need to. Obviously, he's into Q3 now. Franco Gamba sets an improvement. He goes P4. So that's very nice stuff from Franco Gamba. I think he was actually already P4, but he just had yet another improvement. So, and then it's golf across the line. He goes fastest, actually, from Jesper Johansson. So that is Q2 finished. And Dennis Graf, who just took the fastest time there. And your bottom 5 are Luca Farina, Kai Czerezny, Fernando Tost, Wojtek Kulasek, and Laban Sasnishkai. So those are your bottom 5. And now we await for the final stage of qualifying, Q3. And then there's Joe in chat. Collision because of a pit lane entrance collision. Where have I heard that before? Yeah. I guess for you guys it's maybe a bit more common. Either way, Q3, the big talking point then is gonna be Victor Albom in the Haas. He is gonna be. I think all eyes are gonna be on him as he's finally gotten himself into Q3 in the rain as well. So he has done very, very well. But Fernando Tost, as obviously he has been in Q3 in all 5 races that he's made, in all 5 qualifyings that he has done in his Formula 1 career, he is now out in Q2. But as I said, it can't be all smooth sailing. Luca Farina out as well. He really seemed off the pace in Q2, so he'll start last of the people in Q2. The 2 Renaults just barely missed out. Lavas Nishka P11 and Vojta Kulasek P12. Either way, they could still be in good contention for points. Kite Racing, who made it into Q3 at France, was not able to. He wasn't really able to make it into. What was I gonna say? He wasn't really able to make it into Q3 as he did in France. But the 2 Toro Rossos in as well. Not Victor Albon, he's not driving for Toro Rosso. He's driving for Haas. But Samet Özkan and Lewis McIntyre are the 3 ones into 3. Sorry, Can I count? The 2 into the 2 Toro Rossos into Q3. It's looking to be more points for them as they are currently running P7 in the championship standings. They're tied with Racing Point on points at the moment, and starting P8 and P9 could be some good points as Racing Point are really not looking good today in the wet. They're P14, Chereshny is P14 and Patel is P17, so it really isn't the most optimal day for for Racing Point, if you could put it that way. And we should be here for Q3. I think we had like going longer than usual. I hadn't even realized that Q3 was on the way, but it is on the way now. The fight for pole will commence between the top. FG I don't think he's too worried about taking pole here. All he's focused on is finishing ahead of Jesper Johansson. As for those who do remember, this is an old rivalry rekindled, which is very fun to see. FG and Johansson were obviously, if you remember back to their championship battle back in the early stages of 2017. That went on for quite a while, actually. And Lewis McIntyre is going to cross the line with this lap time. It's at a 1:11.3. Next across the line is Victor Albon in Q3. He's going to be very happy with this. I don't think he has too big of. There's not going to be too much pressure on him. He goes ahead of Lewis McIntyre though, so not stone dead last in the Haas. FG's going to cross the line once again. He does not improve though, but the question is, where are the others? Here they are. Jesper Johansson is going to make it across the line now. And where can he go? He goes fastest at the moment. And by quite a margin as well. That's almost 0.6. That's almost 0.5 of a second to me and FG. Alfred Klaus going to cross the line. He goes past FG. And then Dennis Graf slots into second place. Then it is Thomas Manders. Let's see what the Croatian can do. Oh, there, it's behind Franco Gamba for him. Enis Parashi goes P2 to make it a Ferrari, sorry. I'm tired, ladies and gentlemen, I'm sorry. But it is the 2 Mercedes who are currently fastest at the moment. Johansson P1 and then Parashi P2. And McIntyre currently the man slowest at the moment. As McIntyre will make his way across the line. He can't improve, unfortunately, for him. Victor Albom is currently P9, so he's not last. And that is nice for Haas. But he will make his way across the line. He does not improve. And then we have Miran Evji here, who's in P5 at the moment. That's not where he wants to be in relative to Jesper Johansson. Speaking of Johansson, he's going to cross the line here. Can he extend his advantage over the field? No, he can't just yet. And then there is the other Swede, not Alfred Klaus, Samet Özkan. He's going to cross the line. Özkan just does not improve. Alfred Klaus is into the pit lane as Dennis Graf, a German, will make his way across the line. He's going to want to challenge for pole as he's just about 2/10 off Jesper Johansson at the moment. Enis Perachki, can he dethrone his teammate of provisional pole? He's going to cross the line. He can't improve either, so not a lot of improvements. We haven't seen any improvements actually just yet in qualifying, but Dennis Graf in the first sector about 100th of a second off Jesper Johansson as he makes his way down into turn 4. As he heads to turn 4 Rausch as the track goes downhill here. Then through turn number 5. And then through turn 6 here we're going to see his middle sector time. And it is about 2/10 off, so he lost time there in the second sector. So I don't think this will be an improvement for Dennis Graf, unfortunately, for the 2017 World Champion. But either way, he's going to make it across the line. Let's see if he can at least manage an improvement. And yeah, he can't. Wow, he lost heaps of time in this third sector there. 5/10 off Jesper Johansson. Thomas Mandich is currently in P7. He's going to want to set an improvement, but he doesn't. So there could be a chance that Thomas Mandich starts P7. But the question is, I think the conditions are getting worse because no one's able to find an improvement. So everyone went out early when the rain was not as bad, and now the rain has really kicked in, so people just cannot improve in the slightest. I could be proved wrong though, we will see. As Miran Evji's into the pit lane now, so he's aborted his run. He's actually coming in. It's game over for Miran Evji. He's gonna start P5, which is really nowhere he wants to be, because that Jesper Johansson is currently fastest. So that is really not good for the Ferrari, but it is really good for Mercedes. Dennis Graf though is now the lone Ferrari to try and challenge the Mercedes at the top. He is going to cross the line, and let's see if he can manage at least an improvement. He can't. Look, he's 4/10 off his own time, so I think just there are really no improvements coming in at the moment. Mandich doesn't improve. As the checker flag now falls, Parachki doesn't improve. Johansson's into the pit lane, so he is sure that his time won't be beat. Lewis McIntyre is going to try to beat Victor Albom. Maybe not, as he's coming into the pit lane. Oh, the timing on that is wonderful. Victor Albom's coming into the pit lane as well. He's going to start P9, so that's absolutely fantastic for Victor Albom. Could be on for first points of the season. Dennis Graf, I think this is just the in-lap for the German, as there's really no point in running. And yeah, that is... No, he's going to finish this lap actually. So Dennis Graf, who probably won't improve on this lap, let's see anyways, as he will cross the line. And yeah, unsurprisingly, no improvement for Dennis Graf. Enis Perachki is going to cross the line here, and he doesn't improve either. As you can see, all the top runners manage improvements. As there goes the stream again. Hey, oh, and there is the checker flag out, and Jesper Johansson is on pole for the Austrian Grand Prix. So that is Jesper Johansson with yet another pole. Nice going by him. I think that is the would that be the third pole of the season for Jesper Johansson? He took, but yeah, Mercedes looking really strong in what is considered Red Bull's backyard. It's a bit ironic, isn't it? You got Jesper Johansson and it's actually looking at the front run. They got Red Bull P4 and P7. So it's really not looking good for Red Bull at the moment. Dennis Crawford up in P3. He is looking to change up that Mercedes 1-2, obviously. And they got Franco Gamba there. What a qualifying for him, it should be said. In P6, so he's done very well. And they got Victor Albom in P9, so finally a good qualifying for the man from Denmark. It is going to be interesting, though. Remember, the last winner, we're going to have a new winner here for sure. Because last winner here was in 2017 with Mohammed Patel. But last time we had Mercedes starting next to each other, for those who do remember, we had them collide into turn 1. Hopefully we won't have that happening again. And I don't think it will happen. But we will see what will happen into turn 1. Johansson, obviously, we know how good he is in the lead. When he does take that lead, he will just completely run away with it. But Ennis Paratki starting on the front row just behind his teammates. Going to be interesting. As here we are then for the starting grid then. As we head down to the track now. Jesper Johansson is on pole for the Austrian Grand Prix. A third pole of the season, if I'm not mistaken, for the Super Swede. And it's Ennis Paratki, the Macedonian driver, in P2. As Mercedes look out the front row of the grid. On the second row is Dennis Graf in P3, and then it's Alfred Klaus in 4th place. Miran Evji in P5, which is not really where he wants to be, because he's challenging Johansson for the championship. And accompanying him is Franco Gamba, the Italian, in 6th place. Thomas Mandic starts in P7, a very lowly position for the Red Bull driver in what is Red Bull's home race. And then it's Samet Özkan, the Toro Rosso driver, in P8. Victor Albom, a very good performance from the Dane. Let's see if he can keep that scoring position going through the race. And there's Lewis McIntyre in P10. There's the two Renaults just barely missing out on Q3. Lamas Asnishka and Wojtek Kulasek P11 and P12. And Fernando Tostu cannot equal his top 10 position. His top 10 qualifying position. He starts P13. Followed by fellow compatriot Kai Cherezhnia in P14. Then you have Luca Farina in P15, Maximilian Novikov in P16, who just barely missed out on Q2. Mohammed Patel, the man who took pole and won here in 2017, starts P17. And then it's Jafari Blackwood in 18th place. And then you have the final two cars on the grid, Josef Fredrik Schuto and Milka Singh. As the lights are now coming on, Jesper Johansson on pole, and his party in P2 has got 6 lights under the rainy conditions of Austria, and we are underway then here in Austria. It's a very slow getaway for Johansson, I think that was. Or no, that was Dennis Paratki actually, and Dennis Gross already jumped him in the first corner, but lightning start for Jesper Johansson under the rainy conditions. People finding it tough to manage it at the moment. Paratki falling down to P3 then, as Thomas Mandic has fallen down 2 positions at the start, and horrible start for the Croatian. Victor Albom up to P8, and a Samet Özkan up at the P6. There's Alfred Klaus. He's trying to challenge. There's Victor Albom. Look at that. He's actually got a Franco Gamba for P7. What a start for Victor Albom. That is fantastic to see. Samet Özkan up at the P6 there. As there's Lewis McIntyre challenging Thomas Mandic. Kulasek and Toster side by side there as they head into turn 6. Kulasek's going to be on the inside of the young Polish driver. P number 14. Mohammed Patel's made a move on Maximilian Novikov as he is, I believe... Yeah, there's Farina. Look at that. Around the outside. He goes to turn 1 on Kai Cherezhnia. Or no, I think he's defending from Luca Farina actually. No, sorry. Mohammed Patel. Patel himself, he's defending from Maximilian Novikov as they're going to head into turn number 3. Novikov's going to have a look on the inside of the British driver who won here, obviously. But he can't quite do it just yet. But Johansson leads from Graf, Paratki, Klaus, Evji and Özkan in the Toro Rosso. Absolutely fantastic stuff from Summit Özkan. That's Victor Albom in P7. As Thomas Mandic, who's had a horrible start there down in P9. He's currently chasing down Franco Gamba for P8. Who's fallen down 2 positions as well. That's allowed Victor Albom started P9 and Summit Özkan started P8, I think it was, up to P6. So very, very well done from Özkan and Albom. As Jesper Johansson, that's the fast lap of the race. He is pulling away. It's about 7/10 to Dennis Graf, and that gap is just increasing. So Johansson trying to pull away as much as possible. So Dennis Graf has broken that Mercedes 1-2 who's broken that Mercedes 1-2. Enis Paratsky still quite close to the 2017 World Champ. So he hasn't been able to do anything just yet. Wojtek Kulasek is looking to strike on his teammate Lavan Sasnishka for P11 at the moment. As they head through turn 6, Kulasek's not been able to, he's not quite close, but it is probably quite difficult to follow in the rain at the moment, as there's quite a lot of spray, and then obviously, yeah, visibility is a big issue as well, so it will be quite hard to follow. But Alfred Klaus, he's also quite close to the back of Enis Paratsky. Miran Evgen has a fast lap of the race, so he could try and probably make the move on Alfred Klaus in the following few laps, maybe, if the pace does continue, that is. But Wojtek Kulasek, you can see he's very close to his teammate at the moment. Sasnisha defending that inside line from Kulasek for a potential overtake from his teammate. But as they head through turn 4, everyone started to settle into the gaps then. Now it is going to be time to think about how, about the gaps. Which gaps are going to be the closest and which are the furthest away. Do you say that? Someone who's good at English, please correct me in chat. But, yeah. Not the greatest start for Josef Schutel, and he's down in last place, so he's lost 2 positions to Singh and Blackwood, I think that is. As you can just see how close Kulasek is to Sasnishka. Sasnishka, I didn't even realize that he's being held up by Lewis McIntyre for P10. So McIntyre really is off the pace. You can see 1.3 to Thomas Mandic, which is not good for the 2 Renaults at the moment, as they're stuck in a train here behind Lewis McIntyre. Through turn 6 they go, but Jesper Johansson, he still leads though by about 5-6 tenths per second from Dennis Graf, and that is good news for Jesper Johansson, considering that his championship rival, his closest championship rival at the moment, which is Miran Evgen, is in P5. So Johansson will have quite a sizable gap in the championship standings. Things do finish like this, mind you. We still don't know. It's only lap 6 out of 29. As I didn't just realize, I incorrectly mentioned 32 laps when I was doing the intro, but that is not correct. We were running 29 laps, so I got it wrong by about 3 laps, I think. As they all head through turn 4 once more. Kulasek, obviously, who has scored points this season, but it's just that Yeah, he's had a long streak of going without points. Obviously, he had in the first 4 races, he scored he scored points very consistently, and now he just hasn't scored any points in 3 races. And Laban Sasnishkai is, I mean, the two Renaults very, very close. Obviously, Kulasek scored 11 points and Sasnishkai only 10, so he's... The battles are in full swing as the stream is frozen. Great. No, there we are. We're back. But yeah, the teammate battles are quite close. The closest one, obviously, as I said, being Kulasek and Sasnishkai. Özkan and McIntyre is a close one as well. They're all separated on 1 point. Özkan's on 8 and McIntyre is on 7. Currently Özkan is running P6 and McIntyre is running in P10, so... As here's Alfred Klaus, he's actually quite close to the back of Dennis Parachki here. So I think Klaus could maybe, if he does dare, try and overtake if he does get close enough to the Macedonian. So the gaps in here at the top are still actually quite close. They're not too far away from each other, which is nice to see, obviously. I wouldn't want everyone pulling away by 2 seconds from each other. But the question is then, how easy will it be to make the overtake? And we know Alfred Klaus, he doesn't have problems overtaking. He is a very, very good overtaker on his day. We all know that. But we are going to see if he is able to make any moves in the wet. This is the first time these guys have been driving in the wet this season with these cars. As once again, here's Laban Sasnishkai. As he is still defending Wojtek Kulasek, he's trying to get past Lewis McIntyre at the same time. So he's kind of he's stuck here a bit. As yeah, I think the worst situation for these drivers is when you're stuck in between 2 drivers, because you're attacking one guy and then simultaneously you're defending from the driver behind. So if you try and attack the person ahead and you slip up with a mistake, that's going to allow the person behind to try and make a move. So it is quite difficult for these drivers, I do think. As they head up to turn 3. Now you would think this is turn 2, but there's a slight kink on the track, on the straight up until turn 3, which counts as turn 2. I know it's very weird, but there's all the FIA specifications. As there's Fernando Tost, he's actually quite close to the back of Wojtek Kulasek, is he? He had a look on Kulasek there, but it wasn't close enough to try it on Kulasek just yet. But that's good news for Fernando Tost, as he's looking to be on the pace. Meanwhile, here is, as you can see, Kulasek, he's actually dropped behind a bit on Laban Sasnishkai, and that's good news for Laban, obviously, because he is pushing to try and get past Lewis McIntyre. As they head into turn 1. You see there, Sasnishkai just about 4/10 off. Got quite a good exit out of the first corner, but... yeah, I don't think he isn't too close enough to try it. But yeah, it is a bit quiet at the moment, but that could be a good thing, because this race, you know, every race can't be incredible overtake race. races like these for the drivers, they're more about strategy. They're more about patience. How are you gonna try and attack now and maybe use up some of your tires in the process, or you're gonna wait behind and then wait for the person ahead of you to try and use up their tires so you can try and attack later. It's a bit of like a game of chess, isn't it? With how you want to plan out your moves and how you want to plan out your overtakes as well. So it is still an interesting race. Because races like these make it far more difficult for the drivers to overtake, and that means you have to plan it out more in your head on how you do want to overtake. And especially if you're in a position where there's a person ahead of you and a person behind you that's very close to you on track, just like Zasnishka was with Kulasek and McIntyre, you gotta even think even further. Can I attack this person into this corner? If I do, will it slip into a mistake? How much can I push? You know, it is still very difficult for the drivers. So it's still a challenge for some. As we watch Alfred Klaus, who he himself is trying to push to get Ennis Bratskamir, and Ev just absolutely falling back. What has happened to the Swede, as he's 1.6 off Alfred Klaus? But as I said, that's good news for Alfred Klaus, because now we want to focus on offense. As Lavas Zasnishka, you can see, look how close he is to McIntyre under braking. He is very, very close to him, but he just doesn't be able, he just can't find the opportunity to make a move. And that is quite a shame for Zasnishka, but we will see. Maybe his patience will ultimately be rewarded at some point. Let's talk championship then. I think that's going to be quite an interesting little topic. If my calculations would be correct here, Jesper Johansson will be on 145 points and Miran Evji will be on 126, so that would be almost a 20-point gap in the championship standings. Which, I mean, hey, it's not... Obviously gets further away, and we like close championship battles. Who doesn't, you know? But it is going to be good news for Jesper Johansson, as he will take the lead of the... yes, he will be leading the championship by more, and I think that is gonna guarantee him a bit more. What are they gonna say? Yeah, I can't speak today. I'm sorry. I'm tired. I woke up late and everything. It's a bit hard to commentate when you're when you just woke up recently. I can tell you that, and especially not when there's not a lot going on in the race. But hey, it is what it is. As there is Dennis Graf, he's about he's still about 6/10 off to Jesper Johansson, so Johansson has been keeping that gap consistent throughout the entirety of the race. We are about halfway distance now, and Johansson has led every lap. But I have to say, one man you have to commend is Samet Özkan, who's currently running in P6. Victor Alban behind, he's also staying in P7, so very, very well done from both of them. But they've really not got anyone behind. Obviously, Özkan is not battling Miran Evji for anything at the moment. That is absolutely absurd. But you can see here, Alfred Klaus, he's currently chasing down Enis Parachki for position. He's not been able to overtake just yet, so we'll see if he can try and line up a move on Parachki. As you can see how close he is to Enis Parachki under the braking zone there. But Enis with the better exit out of turn 3. And that's going to allow him to pull away for a bit. Alfred Klaus is trying to get himself into the podium, trying to disrupt Mercedes a bit more than they are at the moment. Obviously, Mercedes leading the championship standings by currently 10 points. I haven't calculated what it would be for what it would be at the moment, but obviously all the standings will be available in our Discord server, which you can join through the link in the stream description if you haven't already. As here could be a battle. I said Victor Albon wasn't really close to anyone, but Franco Gamba has actually caught up to Victor Albon here, so we could see a battle for P7 between Albon and Gamba, which is, I think Franco Gamba would not be expecting the Haas of Victor Albon in P7 that he will be dueling with. Either way, I have to say Victor Albon is providing a fantastic performance in the wet. Finally gets to excel, and it seems comfortable around the circuit as well, and in the wet as well it seems pretty damn good. Same goes with Samet Özkan. Özkan's really been impressing, as he's currently in P6. He really made the most out of that start that he could. He jumped everyone, and he's been maintaining that P6 for quite a long time. As Dennis Graf now looking quite close to Jesper Johansson. But yeah, he's not gonna try anything just yet, I don't think. Franco Gamba's looking to try something with Victor Albon because he's very close to the Danish driver. Albon's gonna be put under quite a bit of defense now. You can have to defend a lot from Franco Gamba, and let me tell you, Franco Gamba is not an easy person to defend from. So we'll see how the Haas of Albon does manage. But Gamba, as I said, he's in the same situation as Zasnishka here. He has Thomas Mandic just behind him there. And this is really not a great result for Thomas Mandic at the moment. P9 for the Croatian. As they head on the start-finish straight, Gamba and Albon. It's not close enough just yet. I think he's going to want to stay behind for a bit more. But it looks like he's still chasing down his teammates as Nishka then. He's really just not been able to find the performance at the moment. He just can't get past at the moment, and he's fallen back actually. Same with Zasnishki on McIntyre. The pace just completely dropped for him. And this was also what I was talking about earlier with how much you want to push. If you push a lot during the first stage of the race, you use up your tires, and that means you have to back up a bit more in the race. So you have to do it in accordance to what the people ahead of you and behind you do. So it is quite interesting. Obviously, it obviously doesn't look like a lot is going on, but there's still some management to do. As there's Alfred Klaus, he's actually having a look on this Prix. He had a look on the Macedonian, but he could not get past him just yet. But I don't think that was the smartest move from Klaus, because now he's lost a bit of time to Prix. Either way, this is good news for Klaus, because that means that he could be within striking distance of the man from Macedonia. As they head through the final corner. You can just see how much spray it is at the moment. Visibility, obviously not a problem for Johansson, but it will be a problem for, say, Mir and Evgy there in P5. So I guess overtakes obviously are a lot more difficult because they have the limited visibility. Franco Gamba, then he's still putting the pressure on Victor Albom, but he just, he's not been able to. I mean, he doesn't look as close to Albom at the moment, so I feel like Albom still is quite equal on pace with Gamba at the moment. I mean, yeah, sure, Franco is catching, but he's not as close as, say, Klaus is to Parachi. Well, no, actually, that's an incorrect judgment. Gamba is basically as close to Albom as Klaus to Parachi, if not even closer. So as they head through the first corner, there's Thomas Mandic in P9. There's also Lewis McIntyre in P10. So that's actually very interesting. McIntyre in the Toro Rosso is now catching up to this pack, so that could actually be a bit interesting. McIntyre's and Kulase could get involved into this little train. And it is Victor Albom, the conductor, the locomotive at the front at the moment in P7. And yeah, there's Lavas Zizka. He's on the back of Lewis McIntyre now, as he's going to try to get past the Brit in the Toro Rosso. He's trying to get himself into the points. As obviously Renault are battling with Toro Rosso and Racing Point in the championship standings at the moment. Racing Point and Toro Rosso are currently equal on points. As they head down a start-finish straight into the first corner, you can see how close Franco Gamba is to Victor Albom. Yeah, he's looking very close, but he's actually almost losing time on the. It looked to lose time on the straight. It looks like. Could that be because of Albom? You know, he has the Ferrari engine in the back, and Gamba with the Renault engine. So it is not the most obviously. Yeah, Gamba, unsurprisingly losing time on the straight, but yeah, that's good news for Victor Albom. At least he has that Ferrari engine in the back of his Haas, so he can pull away from. So he has a straight line advantage on Gamba. As Patel, who's now chasing down Luca Farina for P15. Nothing's really been going on here at the moment. Farina obviously was chasing down Cherezny at the start of the race. He is now being chased down by Mohamed Patel. So the hunter becomes the hunted, I guess you could say. As they head through turn number 2. Yes, this is turn 2, as you can see, this little corner. And then through on turn 3. You can see the Farina just about ahead of Mohamed Patel at the moment. As Mohamed Patel, obviously, it's a bit weird to see him in P16, considering that he is currently the only race winner at this circuit. Obviously, he had a very good stint with Red Bull in 2017. He finished P2 that year in the championship standings. No, he didn't. He finished P4, it was. He finished P4 in the championship standings. And yeah, he beat his teammate Alfred Klaus, picked up 3 victories that year. Obviously, one of them was at this circuit in 2017. Yeah, this is the track where he picked up his first victory, obviously, which is obviously at the Red Bull Ring. So it's very symbolic to do it here. And then 2018 didn't go as well for him. 2018 went actually really badly for Patel, unfortunately. He even received a race ban at the Belgian GP. He was replaced by Ivo Race, who actually picked up a podium because the Mercedes of Alexander Arnold had a penalty, so he was promoted up to P3. Then Patel returned for Italy, and he actually took the win on his return, so it was quite poetic, actually. He proved everyone wrong after returning from his race ban, but it wasn't enough, and he finished P6 in the championship standings. So he was unfortunately dropped from Red Bull, and he now drives for Racing Point, and he's actually doing quite well for Racing Point. And as we said, he's currently P9 in the championship standings. As Franco Gambo is still trying to make his way past Victor Albon, has not been able to just yet. Patel is trying to make his way past Luca Farina, but nothing has come out of that just yet. Thomas Mandic currently P9. It's going to be a day to forget for the Red Bull driver. Although this is not how we wanted Red Bull's home race to go. Same goes for Alfred Klaus, as they're going to score absolutely no points today. Well, they aren't going to score points theoretically, but I meant in a fashion that they won't score good points. As Enis Paratsky, he's actually very close to the back of Dennis Graf. Graf is fading away from Jesper Johansson here. So with the final few laps to go, that is not what Dennis Graf needs, as he seemed to be able to find the pace to catch up to Johansson now. And Enis Paratsky could try and take that P2 from the world champion in the Ferrari. As they head into the final 2 corners, you can see Paratsky still quite close to Dennis Graf. Graf looks a bit faster through the second and third sector. The medium speed corners obviously more favourable to the Ferraris, but the braking zones is where the Mercedes excel, it looks like. Here's Tomas Lavic. Once again, chasing down Franco Gamba. Yeah, Gamba still chasing down Victor Albon. You can see the train's absolutely massive behind Victor Albon. It's like a massive snake going around the circuit. It's very weird. But you can see Albon is really not gaining any time on Summit Özkan. It's 11.4 seconds to Summit Özkan. Goodness me. That is absolutely massive. As Patel is chasing down Farina. Nothing coming out of that just yet, but he's still quite close to the back of the Alfa Romeo. As we're now on lap, you can just see Joseph Fredrik Schutter there in the background. He's 4.2 seconds off everyone, and he's last. So either he must have made a mistake somewhere, or he's just the pace is just not there for the Williams. But we are now on the second to last lap. Patel, yeah, there he is. It's not going to be the best weekend for the British driver, unfortunately for him. He's had quite a good point scoring streak going on, but that is unfortunately going to come to an end for the Brit. Franco Gamba is going to pick up some decent points as well, but Summit Özkan going to come up P6 for a total of 8 points for Toro Rosso. That's going to be absolutely massive. So here's Labos Snishkai stuck in the train. Tom Patel is trying to get past Luca Farina, as he does not get close enough at the moment. But Jesper Johansson then, I think everyone would have thought that Red Bull would have taken home the victory today, but it is going to be none other than the Silver Arrows, as he will make his way around the final corner. It's been an absolutely dominant display from the Super Swede, as we'll see the checker flag first, and Jesper Johansson wins in Austria. Dennis Graf is going to come up P2. He breaks the Ferrari 1-2, but he could not, or the Mercedes 1-2, but he could not challenge Johansson today. Enes Paraschke P3. Summit Özkan keep the applauses going. Might not have been Red Bull's day today, but it was Toro Rosso's day. He's going to come on P6. Fantastic performance from him. And there's Victor Albon, P7, his first point of the season, and what a way to score your first points of the season as well. Fantastic job from Victor Albon. And he's going to come on P7. McIntyre comes on P10, Mandich P9, so day to forget for him. But let's go through the final classification stand of the race. Jesper Johansson takes the race win here at Austria. And then it's Dennis Graf who finishes P2. And Enes Paraschke on the podium as well. No Red Bull on the podium in Red Bull's home race. That's a shame. Alfred Klaus finishes P4, and then Miran Evgen P5. He gets the fast lap as well, so that's 1 point to Miran Evgen. And then Summit Özkan finishes P6. Fantastic job from Summit Özkan. And then it's Victor Albon in P7. His first point of the season. Very nice job from him. That is going to get him ahead of a few people. And then Franco Gamba finishes P8, so nice points for the Italian as well. Then Thomas Mandich is the day to forget for him. He's going to want to keep his head down and move on. He finishes P9, and then it's Lewis McIntyre in P10. 10. Lama Sasnichi and Wojtek Kulasek, the two randoms, could not get into the points today. They finished P11 and P12. That's Fernando Tost and Kai Tröstner, the two Polish drivers, P13 and P14. There's Luca Farino, who was able to hold off Mohamed Patel for P15. And Mohamed Patel finishes P16. Maximilian Novikov P17. There's Milka Singh P18. And the final two finishers will be Jafari Blackwood and Josef Frederick Schuto. And that is it for Formula 1 today. Thanks so much for watching. It's been an interesting race. Congratulations to Jesper Johansson on the race victory. That's going to throw him in. That is going to extend his advantage at the championship lead, obviously. And yeah, that has been it for the ACOC this weekend. Unfortunately, there will be no Formula E Porsche Super Cup or WTCR. Or no, Formula E and WTCR. Porsche Super Cup wasn't even supposed to run this weekend. But Formula E and WTCR will not run this weekend due to time constraints. So that will be returning next weekend. But yeah, for now then, thanks so much for watching. We will see you when the ACOC returns next week for the British Grand Prix at the Silverstone Circuit. And yeah, that's been it for me. That's been it for me, Miran Evji. Thanks so much for watching. We will see you next week when the